Jade, how'd you see that performance? They started beautifully, obviously, put a lot of pressure on the Eagles earlier, but then only 2 goals after quarter time.
Yeah, we got beaten by a better team today, Andrew. Very experienced unit. The game looked the way we wanted to at quarter time. I think we're starting to talk about a bit of detail about how we can make that even better, but fundamentally we got beat up around the ball. I thought the Eagles were stronger, used the ball better, ran harder, all the things that go into what a better team does to you. And yeah, we're disappointed how we played because we built some reasonable momentum and get to that point where you start measuring yourself against the best teams and just found wanting in that area today.
I guess the tough part was you showed earlier that your best is good enough because you were easily the better side in the first quarter. Probably could have been more than 2 goals in front.
Yeah, they probably left a few out there in the first 5 or 6 minutes. They had a few shots they probably would like to have got, but we played, which is like I think a brand that people have seen from us when we were at our best this year for 1 quarter. And I thought the Eagles were very good around the ball. They beat us at what we like to think we're okay at. But they ran harder, used the ball better, a dangerous forward line, which we're obviously very aware of coming into the game. That was going to take a pretty big effort from our backs to contain them, and they weren't able to do it. So yeah, it was to be in that position at quarter time and then to let it go and get beaten the way we did was pretty disappointing.
You spoke about on ball in the first quarter, you won clearances comfortably. In the second, I think it was 10-3 from memory. That turned the game on its head a bit.
Yeah, it did. They made a couple of adjustments and Redden started getting his hand on the ball a bit more than he did in the first quarter, and they were able to get it forward. And once they got it forward, they looked dangerous. So that was an issue for us, and we tried to make some adjustments at quarter time to get that back on task. And I thought at third quarter we looked like we were going to score when we went forward, but he missed 3 easy set shots, and yeah, pretty much once we missed it, I think they went the other way and scored. So that was the opportunity midway through the third quarter, and we weren't able to take it. But keep coming back to the better team one day because they were prepared to do the hard work for longer.
You're a pretty young side, I think off there you're saying you've got 12 players with less than 20 games experience.
Yeah, that's something we haven't spoken publicly about too much, but inexperienced sides generally lends itself to inconsistency, and today showed probably the downside of some of those less experienced players, but equally I thought our experienced players didn't play to their full capacity today, and we got beaten by a better team, and back to the drawing board for us about what makes us a good team. A lot of us to do with us is about how we train, how we mentally set ourselves for a game, and coming to a patch with Eagles, Knowle and South Adelaide. So it's really the biggest test in probably our SANFL footy when you come against those 3 in a row, which is failed our first test, and then we've just got to get back to work to what makes us a team that's highly competitive, and so it takes us over the next 2 weeks.
And the next couple of games, you've got obviously mid-season draft on Wednesday. 2 Norwood players have been heavily linked with being picked up, Michael Knowle and Jackson Keller. Do you think you'll lose them?
I don't know, Andrew, and I get asked a lot what I think about it. Will they go? I'm not in AFL clubs anymore, so I don't know what they think. It's a distraction, clearly, for those. If I'm there, but it can be hard to mentally align yourself when you're dealing with clubs calling you and want medicals, and whether you do go or you don't go, how your life's going to change, and they like being here. So it's a distraction. I thought they did really well to compartmentalise it last week. Maybe this week it might have got hold of them a little bit more, but it'll be what it'll be. And I know it's quite a generic response, but I don't know whether they get picked up. Do I think they're good enough? Yes, but time will tell.
And the biggest improvement moving forward with that tough draw you said next couple of weeks, what are you mainly looking forward to?
Well, I'd like to think over the course of the 8 weeks that we've had an identifiable brand which people would know how we go about our footy, and we know that when we go about it the way that we train, and we believe in it, actually serves us pretty well about it, playing against some good teams that way. But it's a matter of being able to do that consistently, and just because you want to play a certain way doesn't mean that Oppo will give you that opportunity. So there's a fair bit in our resilience. I haven't been that wrapped with when we've lost pretty poorly, which shows a level of resilience that is lacking when the whips are really cracking at times. So there's a bit in that. Inconsistency from inexperience, but also we've got some pretty experienced guys out there. So it's a matter of being able to, being good is hard work. Being good can be boring because you've got to keep doing the same things on repeat to get to the line each week. And teams set themselves for you. So they won by 100 points last week. We put a lot of work into Eagles. I'm sure they were pretty aware of what we did against Adelaide last week. So they just did it better. So the journey of a footy season is a tough going because you've got to keep physically fresh, mentally fresh, but also be aware of what goes into a game each week.
Your skipper just spoke to him in the change rooms, hopefully get him back for the next game.
Yeah, he'll play next week. I'd like to think that he'll be available, Wilkins will be available. Pedro coming back today, we decided to play in the reserves coming off concussion. So there's a couple of guys that I think will be in contention. There's a couple of guys in reserves that probably rightfully would think they'll be in contention as well. But this team's gone okay for us for a little while, so the balancing act of what's the right amount of people to bring in, but certainly none will play.
Beautiful. Thanks, mate.